Good morning to the Honorable Prime Minister, member of the media, radio listeners via St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9 FM, Tel TV Plus Channel 15, respective radio stations island-wide, and online viewers. I'm Rolika Roach, and welcome to the live Council of Ministers press briefing for today, Wednesday, October 11th, 2023. At this time, I would like to invite the Honorable Prime Minister and Minister of General Affairs, Silvera Jacobs, to address you. Prime Minister Jacobs, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Rolika. Good morning to you. Good morning to the member of the media here present, as well as those following. Good morning to the Department of Communications. Thank you once again for your support on a weekly basis. And good morning to the people of St. Martin. I hope this message finds you well. I extend to one and all a blessed day and rest of the week as we celebrated Constitution Day this week, the date when St. Martin became a constituent state within the Kingdom of the Netherlands, receiving authorities and responsibilities that were before that with the Netherlands Antilles. It is a great responsibility. It is good for us to be able to ensure that we take care of our people on our own, and we are working diligently to do so once again, despite the many setbacks that we've had from 2017 up until 2022. We are on our way back. And I thank all the persons for your patience as you continue to work with us. We know that the entire world stood still for a period of time, and we are all now getting back on our feet. So we look forward to being able to carry our own finances, and we are in a positive upward trend. Of course, over the past week, we also had some weather that I want the people of St. Martin to continue to monitor. We are not yet out of the hurricane season, so do remember to be vigilant and follow our government platforms for up-to-date information and to continue to be prepared. Also yesterday, October 10th, not just being our special day, which we celebrated on Monday though, October 10th marks World Mental Health Awareness Day, and World Mental Health holds paramount significance as it serves as a global reminder of the urgent need to prioritize mental well-being. In a world that is increasingly marked by stress, anxiety, and emotional challenges, this observance underscores the importance of raising awareness throughout the community to reduce the stigma and advocating for better mental health care. It is something our government wholeheartedly supports. As you see, we have prioritized even through the trust fund to ensure that the Mental Health Foundation gets the assistance they need as well. Again, we're not where we maybe want to be, but we continue to grow in the service that we give to our people. This day promotes the understanding that mental health is an essential part of our overall well-being, and that individuals should have access to resources, to support, as well as education to be able to manage their mental health effectively. It also encourages one and all to be a more empathetic, meaning having empathy and compassion for others, as well as an inclusive society. This is something that I've noticed of late that has very much dwindled. We must continue to look out for each other, and World Mental Health Day contributes to us thinking more about being healthier, to be more resilient, where mental health is valued and prioritized as much as physical health. As a matter of fact, when your mental health isn't well, it also impacts your physical health. So take the time to regroup, to pray. If you're a faithful person, that also helps, to meditate. Find the stillness within yourself and ensure that the external voices do not drown out the internal voices that tells you who you are. You must know who you are to be able to go through life struggles, and indeed being aware of how we feel at all times, identifying those feelings and how they impact our actions, our relationships, as well as our health, can play a big role in maintaining a positive self-image. So I offer you these words of encouragement. For me, it is prayer. For me, it is music. For me, it is surrounding myself with loved ones. And of course, always remembering who I am. So I encourage you to continue, despite whatever challenges that you're going through, to think positively, seek solutions and seek assistance if the struggles get too difficult. We also want to continue to show love and appreciation for our elderly who we have celebrated over the past week as well. Do not let it stay by this week. In the month of October, on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis, continue to show love and appreciation for our elderly who are the foundation and bedrock of our society, upon which the foundation that they built, we are now building the walls, and the next generation will put on the roof. And maybe the one after that will add up to another story, etc., etc. So we continue to carry our ancestors with us, those that have passed, but those that are still with us, our seniors, please give them the love and appreciation and continuous education, as a matter of fact, because the more we learn, the longer we live. And also our teachers who celebrated past week, congratulations as you go back to the classroom this week, and as a community and a society focused on quality education, SDG number 4, let us continue to support and appreciate our teachers who are building on the foundation that was laid by parents. Together, we can make that strong society that we want to see in St. Martin. Last but not least, in terms of showing appreciation, of course, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we want to continue to bring awareness and prayers for those persons and families still in the struggle, remembering those who have passed and those who may find out during this course of this year and take the necessary steps. Remember to get yourself checked, because prevention is better than cure. The Civil Registry Department from the Ministry, I would like to update that the Civil Registry Department still has on the 14th, this Saturday, walk-ins from 9 to 12 so that persons can update their profiles. Please ensure that you are in possession of ID and other relevant documents to be able to do so. From the ministry also, the digital leadership team has been invited to Barbados to attend the Global Government Caribbean Digital Summit, which is hosted by the government of Barbados. So we on St. Martin, we have a digital leadership team, DLT, which is the driver for our digitalization project under the Trust Fund, which is working to ensure that we as government can connect all our services. So we have a one-stop shop for our people. That is the goal, that is effective and efficient, and ensures that the service we provide to the population is simplified so that persons are no longer staying in lines, etc. We have already started the process, but of course we have a long way to go. The Roundtable Summit for the Caribbean's digital leaders will be hosted by Prime Minister Mia Mottley, and it brings together national and departmental digital chiefs from across the Caribbean for open, informal discussion of the opportunities and challenges around public sector digital transformation. St. Martin's delegation will consist of our Secretary General of General Affairs, Emilia Connor-Thomas, as well as ICT Acting Head Femi Badijo, and Senior Policy, Mr. Stanley Murion. As the Minister of Finance isn't here, I'll update that related to the COVID loans, that the Minister has signed the new loan agreement that was due yesterday. As you know, our loan of 316.4 million guilders that we took to be able to assist the people of St. Martin, to be able to keep government afloat and live up to our obligations, to pay salaries to our civil servants, to pay subsidies to school boards, all the different foundations that receive after-school programs, etc., that we loaned these funds for would have been due yesterday on the 10th of October. So with the signing of the new agreement, even though we have not yet come to a final agreement on the ENIA, we've gotten an extension for at least a year at the same 3.4% that we had been in agreement on had we come to an agreement on ENIA. So until such a solution is found, so hopefully that will be found within short, since we are back to the drawing board, since Curacao was not in agreement to move forward with what we technically had already agreed upon. But the good news is that at least we are not expected to pay 316.4 million guilders back in one shot, as would have been the case had we defaulted on the loan. As you know, as I mentioned before, this loan was taken back in 2020, and every year thereafter up until 2021, I believe in 2022, to be able to cover the necessary expenditures so that we could stay afloat. So of course, it didn't give us the opportunity to do all that we wanted to do, but we could meet the basic needs of the community as per our budget. So we will continue to have discussions at St. Martin with Curacao, with the Central Bank of Curacao and St. Martin, and the Dutch government to find a solution for the ENIA situation. For us in St. Martin, it is important that we're able to ensure that the around 3,000 persons that we are responsible for at St. Martin in terms of that would be the social impact if they're not able to receive their pensions, do not suffer any unnecessary penalties because of the situation that ENIA has found itself in. And we will continue to do so in the best interest of St. Martin. I believe the Minister of Finance has also mentioned that we have secured capital expenditure loans, which were on our budget for 2023. And I would really like to dispel the notion that there is like a bucket of money being dropped on St. Martin. It is a loan. It is something we do and all countries do to be able to invest in its infrastructure. And so there are plans that are ready for sports facilities, for roads and the like, and that will be executed as soon as each ministry, relevant ministry, finalizes its advices, etc., and can then make use of those funds. So I look forward to any further questions that may come forth from the media, but for now, that is the update that I have.
Thank you, Prime Minister Jacobs, for your opening remarks. If you have just joined us, you are watching the live Council of Ministers press briefing for today, Wednesday, October 11, 2023. Thank you so much for joining us. We now move on to the question and answer session, and Bibi Hatshaw of SMA News, you have the floor.
Thank you, Alaika. Good morning. Good morning, Prime Minister and colleagues. Prime Minister, I heard what you said about St. Martin with the ENIA loan. If I have it correctly, is St. Martin still on the same trajectory as accepting the loan to bail out ENIA now that Curacao have rejected this loan?
Yes, so prior to last week, Thursday, I believe, the technical teams of both Curacao and St. Martin were moving forward with the loan, which was a capital injection to be able to keep, to deal with the going concern that was ENIA, to be able to put funds in it so that it could pay out all the pensions as well as invest monies and pay back the interest as well. The Minister of Finance mentioned that the interest that would have to be repaid to the Netherlands would be paid to St. Martin from ENIA based on the investments that they would make. Because of Curaçao's high debt ceiling, after deliberation, they decided not to move forward with that. Whatever decision is made would have to be made jointly. So St. Martin can decide to do A and Curaçao do B. So we have to just get back to the table. There were several options discussed prior, and now the option that they're looking at is a settlement option, which has to be worked out and figured out and calculated because it was not done before. So hopefully that can be done within short. And as I mentioned, that's being done in conjunction, looking at these options now, and the feasibility of those are to be done between Curaçao, St. Martin, the Central Bank, as well as the Dutch government.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Bibi, your second question.
Thank you. Prime Minister, I know you're going to Parliament this morning to discuss GEBE. However, I'd like to ask you about the constant load shedding, the mismanagement of the company, and also what is the shareholders' plan in getting this company moving forward? And if you can also give me the cost of the decision taken by the supervisory board or the company to continue to go against the court's decision with the chief internal auditor. What cost would this have on the company?
Okay, you are asking quite detailed questions. I'm not sure I caught all, but in the update that we got, there was a challenge with the water intake. I believe the GEBE already put out that press statement. As you know, the water that cools the engines comes from the sea, and I don't know exactly what the issue was, but the update that I got was that there was a challenge with the water intake, which caused the recent load shedding. Any further updates I will be able to bring later on during the meeting of Parliament. I think a statement such as mismanagement at this point is quite a strong one. That is not a statement that I ascribe to. We have put a crisis team in place, which is doing its best to rectify a challenge that was there. The details of which, hopefully, I'll be able to divulge more once I get to the floor of Parliament. But of course, information, day-to-day information on the management of the company is the responsibility of the company. The updates that we have gotten is that there has been progress. For instance, with the billing and invoicing, of course, there still remains a group of people who still have to have their situation rectified. And I encourage them to go to GEBE to have that done with their customer service. They have been open to doing payment plans. And so I look forward to, as we continue to enjoy electricity for the most part, except for the recent load shedding, of course, which I know can be very difficult on the population. And hopefully this can be avoided in the future. The other question, I'm not sure what I was.
How
There was
does
a third one?
How does government plan to move the company forward? How does it share? What's the plan of getting the company forward? I mean, since the hack, we are at a standstill.
So I guess I'll wait until I get to Parliament to go into the details of that. Yes, the information that has to be shared, I really need to understand as well where Parliament is going. I know for a fact that the government of St. Martin is concerned. We are constantly asking the necessary questions as shareholder. There is a discussion with via the trust fund for a strategic plan. So we would need to be able to state where we are with that plan moving forward. I know GB has committed in writing to move towards sustainable energy. And of course, a plan has to be in place for that. As you know, we have been talking about moving towards sustainable energy here for the longest while. They have also joined or rejoined the energy policy work group to ensure that we are aligned as government and GB as our own one and only power supplier to move forward with upgrading that policy to ensure that the strategic plan of GEBE is aligned therewith.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Bibi, your final question.
All right. Prime Minister, the repairs of this building was supposed to take place. I don't think it has been done. But can you tell me when this is done, will there be an additional or an increased cost to government? And I also would like to ask you if you can, there was a survey done among civil servants. Can you shed light on the outcome of that survey?
Yes. The repairs of the building, the owner of the building, SZV, since earlier this year was supposed to especially deal with the fourth floor roof, which has been leaking and causing challenges, which we realize has only gotten worse, especially with the last set of rains. However, they didn't want to start during the hurricane season, so they put it off. And we are still in a discussion as to how the repairs will take place more towards the end of the year. I'll give more details once we have that from the building's owner, which is SZV. As it relates to the survey, as I mentioned before, a task force, a group of civil servants, some 19 of them, took the recommendations. So Department of Personnel Affairs is with its team working on the recommendations to see what can be done. As I mentioned, we have an interim head there as well since the absence of our head of the department. And she's also put forward a list of possible, let's call it quick wins that we can right away execute. Some things will take a longer time to execute because they're legislative, but the acting head has put forward some recommendations. The recommendations in terms of what can be done quicker. The recommendations from the group, the task force that has come forth from the Civil Service Corps, which I highly commend because we can determine from the head that these are things that needs to be changed. But for change to actually take place, the workforce must be involved. And so they have brought forward recommendations to their colleagues, to middle management, to the SGs, and to us as ministers. And if we all start to work on these, points. They had to make presentations to all groups as well. And so hopefully the video in the meantime would have been created. That was the goal, to have it done. I'd have to check with CoM to see if that was done and finalized to share with the rest of the organization so that each person working for government will see and hear what the recommendations are. They will receive it via the email as well. And then each can then, within their department, start working on the small things that can be done while we as government and the P&O department work on the bigger trajectories. Because with all of us working on it, we will definitely improve some of the challenges we face. We also have discussions ongoing within the technical committee of government, as well as the negotiation team of government and the negotiation team of the civil servants unions to come to agreement on some changes in the legislation that we've been discussing, some for a long time, but we're seeing headway, as well as, of course, the plan forward to get some type of cost of living adjustments within the salaries of civil service. So some of the main challenges that were mentioned were salary, were the ability to move up, evaluations being done consistently, and being stuck in scale. So even that was discussed within the negotiation teams, and possible solutions will be forthcoming. Some immediate and some for the medium and long term. So we will continue to update the civil service, first of all, but also the people of St. Martin as we move forward. And with your indulgence, I'd just like to take another opportunity to wish the police and all other civil servants who function became official as of 10/10/10 a happy 13th anniversary as well. Yes, the Police Week is something that has been celebrated even before they were a sovereign from KPNA. So KPNA used to celebrate Police Week and Police Day, but now many other civil servants also are only in the function for the past 13 years. The function only exists because we attain country status within the kingdom. So congratulations to all of you. And one of the things was mentioned in terms of showing appreciation, though they were grateful for the appreciation being shown from the ministerial level, there was more appreciation required from the department and Secretary General's level. So I encourage each to show appreciation to your staff in the smallest little ways, as a happy workforce is a more effective workforce. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister Jacobs. Bibi, does that bring us to the end of the question and answer session? Any further questions can be sent to the Prime Minister's Cabinet in writing. Honorable Prime Minister, member of the media, radio listeners, and online viewers, this brings us to the end of the live Council of Ministers press briefing for today, Wednesday, October 11th, 2023. For rebroadcast, tune into St. Martin Gov Radio via 107.9 FM, Tel TV Plus Channel 15, the official Facebook page of the Government of St. Martin, and YouTube channel Government of St. Martin. For video on demand, log on to the Government of St. Martin's YouTube channel. On behalf of the Department of Communication and the Government of St. Martin, I'm Rolika Roach, and wishing you a pleasant day further.